I'm in this. I'm actually at the end of it. And I play a stand-up comedian, a real stretch.
Yeah.
What now, wait a minute. Now, explain this movie, because it's good.
Was you were implying that the other ones aren't with that little...
yes, I was. I wasn't implying. I was trying to obviously...
It's about this, like a jewel thief for the mob.
We're out of time.
But it's about this milquetoast type guy. The mob hates him. He's like not a very well-liked person. He's an orphan. He's has a lot of issues, social issues.
Let's throw it to commercial.
Well, you say you're a son of a farmer. I'm not believing that.
I'm a son of a farmer.
Dan, do you believe that for a second?
Not for a second. No. Son of a farmer. My Uncle Nate still farms.
Well, how are you so articulate?
Because my mother was also the daughter.
Let's go to commercial. I want to say this is a commercial for... No, I'm kidding. Your mother, of course.
I'm not crying.
What is your... Do you think the Mets are going to be good?
I don't know that anyone thinks the Mets are going to be good this year. They're not doing anything.
Well, I thought you were going to say something interesting, like this is their year.
No, I think the Cubs are going to be interesting this year. Everybody keeps talking about the Cubs.
Now you're both retarded.
Yeah. I think that's something that would be really interesting. I like to see underdogs do something.
Okay, here's the thing. The Cubs-Mets in the NLCS, does the whole country care about that? I think they're two dynasty teams to where they do, but it might be local.
It's one of those things, though, where the Cubs are like the Yankees of losers.
Because we're buddies, what am I saying to your face right now?
What way do they make fun of him?
They let him talk. I swear to God. I swear to God. That's what they do.
You can't do that.
Well, guys,
they're using your strength against you. Right?
What do you say on the show?
Whatever they ask me, like whatever you guys ask me. You know what I mean?
Do you feel you're being goofed on?
I mean, everybody gets goofed on one way or another, but I've been goofed on, but I goof on people too, so what the hell?
All right.
Okay.
No, but I wanted to do a show one day, right? On HBO Showtime.
We're out of time.
Look,
I want you to do this.
Bruce's father was a bit of a drinker, and he would disappear into bars sometimes during the day on the Jersey Shore, and him and his mom, when he was like 8 or 9 years old, would have to go in looking for his father. So he said, you hear Bruce say that he went in, I went in looking for, that great Springsteen way to tell the story. I went in to a bar during the day, a dark bar, looking for my dad, and I was with my mother, and the jukebox was on, and Frank Sinatra was playing. And my mother stopped me, and she said, listen to that. You know who that is? That's Frank Sinatra, and he's from New Jersey. And that's the kind of guy he was, especially with his, Bruce's mom, full Italian, and especially Italian mothers. They stopped, and it was a moment. I had the similar thing. They stopped you, and they said, listen, that's Frank Sinatra. They told you who it was. Stuff like that doesn't happen with Miley Cyrus or Billy Ray Cyrus. But so Danny and a Chicago Italian guy met him twice and described the circumstance.
Well, the Cubs played.
We're out of time.
I hate that.
You don't want to do that. You're a National League guy?
I just like that it's in one league and not in the other. I love the Phils,
Well, what do you mean? So do you want it all to be one way? No.
I have no problem with it the way it is. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's fine, the American League, but I think the National League should leave it the way it is.
I like offense. I like it. I like a pitcher's duel, but I like offense more. I mean, look,
And it adds that layer of strategy to the entire major league. It's like, all right, well, now this guy can go to the American League where he can just be a DH, or maybe you want to bring this guy over. He's a pitcher that played in the AL East.
Back after this. I want to hear what happened with Gino upstate with the gorilla.
Okay, go ahead.
It wasn't a gorilla.
Let Mike tell the story.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And then you can rebut.
No, I thought you were pointing to me. I apologize.
Well, tell the story, Mike.
Gino's a better story to tell.
Let's have it, Mike. Come on.
He's Pinocchio's top student, so don't worry about it because...
What?
Tell the story,
He's Pinocchio's top student.
I know Pinocchio's a teacher. Pinocchio's a teacher?
Okay, what happened was we were upstate New York, Oswego, New
We're
York,
out of time.
way away from Lake...
Could you plug a Puerto Rican?
That doesn't make any sense. Go ahead. What do you plug something, John?
Friday night, we're going to be at Nino's. Go to RevBobLevy.com. We're going to be in Ocean, New Jersey. Saturday, the Northeast Comedy Cabaret. 2 shows. Come on out.
And we're out of time. Anyway, all right, there's the show business bulletin today. Gino Biscotti does not dye his hair. So how was L.A.? What happened out there?
LA's fantastic.
We're out of time. So you don't like Letterman or Conan?
No, Letterman I love. Conan, I don't know.
Conan is
I'm in
brilliant.
the middle with him.
Conan is a brilliant
Conan
guy.
put you on. You were the giant O on his show, as I recall.
Oh, yeah,
Were
that's
you
right.
the O? That's
Yeah.
right. Oh, and the C was Gene Garofalo.
And
like
Michael
Conan.
Jordan was both ends.
I did used to like Conan a lot. I used to like Conan. I didn't know he was the writer for The Simpsons when I was a kid.
Do you guys want to ever get on a late night show?
I'm not good at this. But no, I didn't give a fuck about Letterman.
Well, why are you goofing on Conan?
No, because, like I said, but who was cool? When I started comedy,
we're out of time.
I wanted to be on the.
You know, I want to say this. These are my favorite types of podcasts to do because just sitting around, bullshitting with friends. And I must say, the common ingredient when this always happens is Mike Bocchetti.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Thank you, Artie. It's the magic of you.
We're out of time.
Oh,
I said, I wasn't interested in that story at all. I'm sorry.
should not have been.
But a human being should at least fake. I mean, how often does a person tell you an interesting story? It's very rare.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of good storytellers out there. And, but Gino happens to be one. Gino is a good story. He's a comedian. He's a good storyteller, but he told an extraordinarily boring story.
Excruciating.
About it, while we're trying to watch television, about his phone getting broke. Now, my question to you, do you feel I was being rude?
No.
I have to apologize. Was I being aloof? Was I being
You were not. But
dismissive?
No, but have you ever...
We're out of time. No, we asked our fans, who tend to be a little off color, what they thought of the picture of Bruce Jenner on the cover of Vanity Fair. And these guys can get a little crazy. Dan, are you ready? Give him a second.
30 more seconds.
30 more seconds. Gino, do you have anything for 30 seconds?
Tell them about your thing today.
I got that thing today.
Yeah, it got postponed till later
Big
today.
day for Gino, by the way. A fellow podcaster. We wish him luck. He's essentially shooting a pilot.
For the New York Post.
The New York
web
Post.
series.
Yep, a web series.
I like when you say it like that. Thank you, Art.
Well, that's what you're doing.
That is what I'm doing. But, you need separation. You get so involved in what you're doing that you don't realize what you're doing until someone says, no, you're doing this. I'm like, I am fucking doing that.
We're very supportive, and it's very important to us. So describe what you're doing.
I'm going to go to the New York Post.
Wait, the voicemails are ready. No.
It's never not funny to me.
No, what are you doing?
I like when you say we're out of time, too.
LeBron's the motivator, but you have that guy who's just doing the fucking work.
The problem is LeBron. They want LeBron
manager
to be everything.
Yeah.
Especially he's got a lame duck fucking coach too.
Black
guy.
sticks.
That's what I mean.
Black looks like
Is he
confused
gone?
every time.
You can't fire
went to
him.
the finals. You can't. Actually, you're right. You can't fire him.
And this is what scares me about Cleveland.
Yeah.
And I'll equate it to football and the Chargers. And I'm sorry, but it's a perfect example. You take Norv Turner, who inherits a 14-win team. Okay, and he slowly
North Turner. Chris Rock. I seen him do comedy for the first time.
Why?
And Chris Rock, you saw him do comedy finally?
I thought you'd seen him a bunch of. Why he's all over the place.
No, I never seen Chris do stand
once
up.
again he worked with me and Gino the other night, and once again destroyed. He always destroyed.
No, I know Chris is a funny guy from the old show and this, but I never seen him as a stand up.
Let's move on.
Now, what do you clean your fingers with when you're done, Michael?
The back of your ass.
You want permission for that?
Why did that turn me on a little bit?
No permission needed because he probably had more than paint on his ass.
Oh God! All right, Mike. Well, listen. Thank you for.
I think Gino had jelly stains and corn muffin stains in the back of his butt. I don't know.
We're out of time.
God damn, it's the big one in the South. You could say,
you
I
could
fucked
say
your mom. They're like, that's fine. God damn it,
Yeah.
don't. Because they really, that's more Christian fundamentalism.
Mike,
you really think that you're damning something to God.
Mike, what do you feel about South Carolina passing the bill to take down the Confederate flag?
That flag has so many different things going on with it. I don't know what to say because it is, like you said, they claim it's their heritage, but killing people and you know what I mean, and
we're out of time.
All that kind of shit is not heritage.
I can't help but think this guy might be batshit crazy.
Yeah, right. See, that's the thing. I wouldn't push it on people. That's the other thing. That's
and when he tells you like, let Jesus forgive you, or I forget
when
exactly
he goes
how he
chapter
worded
and verse
it.
like that. But yeah.
I heard a great eulogy one time. I was at a funeral for an old Greek lady.
We're out of time. Artie Quitter, Artie Lang podcast here today, live on a Thursday, the final episode of this week. We got about 120 shows in the can, as they say, in under 7 months, so we're cooking with vinegar and oil. Mike, we were talking about an old, by the way, Mike Bocchetti here, of course.
Hi, America.
We're out of time. When your mother prays, what do you think she says?
No. Please take him away soon.
Well, no. She doesn't say that. She loves you. But she probably says, please take me away soon.
Maybe, I don't know.
One day she'll sit at the foot of the Lord. She
I'll
will.
be there right with him.
No, because you put her through hell. A wonderful woman by not doing your own laundry or your own dishes.
No,
and not leaving the house.
My brother's going to cook, and I do the dishes. My brother's a great cook.
You're 53. What is your long-term plan for leaving the house?
No, but
when do you see yourself having your
no, but
own
there's a
home?
reason why I'm there too. I never, people always bought, and people never hear my side of the story.
Well, let's hear it. You're on the fucking air.
Okay.
We're out of time. We're out of time. Brewer would say, like, at some of the SNL after parties, Brewer would be talking to a girl, and Barry would come up out of nowhere and just interrupt the conversation.
He's a cockblocker.
So how did this happen? Like, real creepy. But yeah, it's annoying. Barry, he was always very nice to me. But he's one of those guys that, like, he should be a bouncer. He's just a lucky guy.
Yeah, he really is.
LA's the only town where a guy like that can become a billionaire.
His face should be on a dartboard.
Do you know I work for?
Why? What did he do to you? You're so mad at him. I mean, it's my podcast. You're going to get me sued.
I'm sorry.
Well, I don't have a problem. What did he do to you?
Oh no,
Did he do something to you, Mike?
Yeah, he's kind of a clown.
Mike is classic for this. Something else that pisses me off. He brings up why he hates somebody. He doesn't tell a story.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Dude, come on. You got to
start. Did you do something bad? Tell it, Mike.
Here's what happened.
Go for it.
11 years ago, John Melendez.
We're out of time. Okay, I will give you the floor here, Stacey.
Okay.
Then, 1 second. I want to set it up. Steve Grillo, for any Howard Stern fan, is a guy who was an intern there, a very popular intern, very popular. Steve's a really good guy.
Yes.
And they goofed on him because he's not the brightest bulb, but none of us are.
He's a great
listen, he's not Stephen Hawking, but none of us are. He's more like Stephen J. Hawking, or Stephen. What's it? Stephen A. Hawking. But the great guy with a great heart. And he's the guy who had to get Howard's potato every morning. You could tell the tense. He was nervous making the potato.
Yeah.
And he decides to give his version of mine. Okay, I'm going to let you go, please. Because I'm just setting up what I know.
Easy.
And you're going to show how ignorant I am.
Okay.
He gives his version, supposedly, on Radar Online. And for some reason, Stacey Pressman is all over it.
Yeah.
All over the article. And everyone thinks they're linked. I will now give Stacey the floor to say what happened. How did this come about, and what's your side of the story?
Steve and I have been best friends.
We're out of time.
Oh.
Nah, that had nothing to do with what is the story?
I heard the story was the rumor. I don't know the story, but it's just odd that this guy gets involved in so much gambling and then suddenly his dad gets friggin' murdered.
So you're saying that
he might have owed the wrong people money. That's the rumor. Dan's a Chicago guy.
He does claim to know it.
And Dan doesn't sit there saying that's not true. He's not jumping up yelling.
He's keeping quiet because I've discussed this with him. Dan also claimed to know Mitch Williams, though, so I don't know.
I still think he does know Mitch Williams.
You know the full story. You know what happened. Like his father was.
I've heard the
found
story.
him. Well, Gabe, what did they do? They found them in a car, shot on the side. Okay, Dan, what did you hear happen?
Well, you have to say
it was the kind of comedy where you stayed in the car and you missed appointments. You were late for work. You were late for school because Billy West was doing something on the Stern Show. And the fact that someone would be stupid enough and young and naive enough to use that phrase with me means that, okay, I can quit showbiz. I can't because I have mortgages. But that to me is more important than an Emmy, an Oscar. The fact that some kid out there is naive enough to think that that's the golden year of the show. I said, please, it's like when people come up to me and say their favorite movie is Dirty Work. I say, you really should rent The Sting. You took
a little DNA from it, let's face it.
I just want to know if you realize how much you meant to Howard Stern fans the years you were on the show. Because you ended it abruptly and there's mystery around it, but I want to know if you realize that.
I got to tell you something. Really honestly, I'm naive about a lot of things.
Bill, we got to go to commercial.
I'm doing the Stress Factory February 21 through 23.
That's what I mean. This will be great. Fuck Twitchell's.
Artie apparently is doing the club on Don't Tell Him It's a Surprise.
This is the only thing higher than your pants.
Oh my God!
My phone is the size of my pants.
There's a flood. I gotta keep the
Go right ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're gravy.
Now, Twitch, go ahead. I mean, you were being funny, but
go ahead.
I was distracted.
Oh, well, I just gotta be honest with
you.
you.
We're out of time. So if I go back and show me those tweets, I think that 24-year-old guy would agree with me and everyone else. Yeah, it was worth it. For those sentiments alone. For, you know what? Fuck the money, fuck anything else. I'd like to have enough money to take care of my mom and whatever.
It was
worth
it.
It was worth it.
It was worth it.
Yeah. Knowing that Dan Filato has 5 Brussels Griffons. It's worth it. And knowing Dan Filato, of course, it's worth Yeah, of course it is. But seeing that, like, you guys are feeling that way, and so that's the best I can do.
I have to tell you, is Amy.
Damn, we're out of time.
It was a stack.
Toenails.
Stack.
Yellow.
It just a pile. Obviously, it was his favorite place to clip his toenails.
That takes a long time.
I can't even imagine.
No,
I can't for AIDS.
For AIDS. One of my favorite stories is Robert.
We're out of time.
Okay.
I think that's a great story.
It's
a great stealing story.
It's not the canoe.
You can go. No, the canoe's fantastic.
I'm saying the canoe.
You didn't say
I
top
want the canoe to close.
I'm sorry. You didn't say top the canoe though.
Yeah, but you didn't.
But that wouldn't have topped that wouldn't have topped anything.
You don't think that's a good move though?
Honestly, I didn't hear it.
Dude, that's 79 cents.
Oh, your face is great.
I haven't heard anything you said.
You know what your pint of Ben and Jerry's is?
Since I said Gino's, I haven't heard anything.
Gino.
My high school wrestling team, we used to steal everything.
Fuck, he's
We're out of time.
We always make fun of Artie because you're actually one of those guys that you don't want to hang out and try to like.
No, I'd rather get the girl into my room and
No, but you don't even want to play the game of like they have to come up
It's
so
very-
quick
yeah,
after a
very-
set.
yeah.
They have to. He has to go. Thank you guys. They have to like.
But
be
what
pulling
happens?
his pants
Like,
down.
there's a lot going on that you don't know in those situations because stuff gets planned where if I can get in the room. Back then, it was so blatant. Like, that would happen. I said, I'll give her a room number, and if she tells me she's in the room, what am I, ask Pete Dominic how his day is going? Hey, look, if I get a beer with me and Bocchetti? No.
The first thing I did for TV was cool, but it was obscure.
We're out of
type
time.
thing.
When they first put The Godfather on TV, the guy who did James Caan's voice when he calls those struts, it means balls. For some reason they said Scafosa, and the guy didn't sound like James Caan at all. He goes, Paulie, I want you to kill that Scafosa.
I want you to kill that Scafosa.
Sounded nothing like Yeah, that's right. Trading Places, that was a start. Those two old guys. And those
Usual bet, $1.
Right. Those actors had no problem saying the N-word either. You really think I'd let a nigger?
Mr. Amici, do you have the line is, I noticed the line in the script where it said oh, you have a problem with that? No. I have a problem with the thing that it's only $1. Right?
Can we do another take of that?
Hey, listen, do you guys remember, I remember when Helmsley
We're out
owned
of time.
that building?
When we went there to shoot an episode of Mad TV during Mardi Gras a couple of months earlier, we met these cute makeup broads who were friends with Trent Reznor. Who lived in yeah. So Reznor was their neighbor, and I met Reznor, and
was he living in the Garden District in the house that used to be a funeral home?
Is that what he was actually?
Yep.
Yeah, because it was in that district. It was 2 blocks from the festival, which was in a big park.
Yep.
And I met him, and holy Christ, the weed! Holy shit!
Yep. I was in that house. I did,
you were? Did you write something on him?
Yep, Rolling Stone cover and spent a little time there. And
by the way, a background on Bozo, real interesting guy, Anthony. You know, he's in my life, and people just know in my world that he wrote my books. But Anthony was a writer for Rolling Stone, did a big feature on Eminem that put him on the map, and interesting story. So what happened? Tell us story.
With the Reznor story?
Yeah.
Oh, it was great, man. Well, I went down.
We're out of time.
Yeah.
No, this is what's great about a podcast. Go ahead. So you want to tell the story or not?
No.
The setup is too
I'd
long.
like to hear it.
No, now it's never gonna. I mean, there's so many I could tell, but
pick one. Jesus Christ!
Say the one when he was drinking, we would have to go from bar to bar to bar,
right?
And it was always like, well, when does it end? What is he looking for? And I always assumed it was girls. He was trying to get laid. But then a lot of times he was with girls, and then it would be 5 a.m, and he's like, "Let's go to another bar." I'm like, "Well, for what purpose?
Right?
What is the end game here?"
Exactly. Is that the story?
That's the story.
Now that deserves a "Someone Died" music on.
Well, there's there's so many others. I mean, well, look at.
I'm not going to tell my Dave Attell story.
One time,
yours is probably better.
I don't have one, but I can make one up if you want me to.
I guarantee the one you make up is better.
No, wait, stop.
One time at Thanksgiving, we were partying with these girls, these hot 20-year-old girls.
The story's already bullshit.
No.
What do you want, Dan? You want to say something? You were interrupting. What do you want?
You know what? I forgot the best thing that Dave said at the beginning before we started the podcast.
Dave who?
And well,
Jusko.
Oh, you're talking about him?
Yes.
Okay, good.
He said,
we're out of time. What show did you end up on, Jack Nicholson?
I didn't end up on any.
Well, you're on this show.
I'm on this show.
This show is better.
I gotta tell you, I walked out of my house
We're out
the
of
other
time.
day.
I said, Deej, listen, I know you got a life, and I don't. I know you've advanced in life, and you have children and a wife, and I don't.
I know I'm going to die alone, and you won't. But you have to call me. I don't know if you heard me. Not a guy I know, not an agent who met him once. Bruce Springsteen personally told me the chicken backstreets broke his heart. Can you get back to me? Another 2 days go by. I said, Deej, you better be dead.
Yeah.
And he called me up, and quite frankly, he wasn't that into it anymore.
What?
He wasn't into it anymore. And I realized, because I have no children, and I stayed and I somehow got involved in a business where you can stay a kid. Like, I'm allowed to be a big kid. Look at me.
But that guy's
I'm making a living right now.
No.
He's not a dick. He's my buddy, Deej.
I'm sorry, but how do you get out of that? That's a silly thing to say.
A life happened. He goes, Art, I'm glad she broke his heart. I need snow tires.
No, I'm not buying it. Sorry. I know.
Well, how about this? I left a message on the wrong machine.
That's better. You know, I had the exact same experience.
We're out of time. But I said, Howard, if we do Howard Stern roast, because we went to Sirius and they could truly be uncensored, unlike Comedy Central, they were not, we could truly do them uncensored. You should hire Levy to just produce them and host them. And I did that just because I knew they'd be good. I wanted to help Bob, but I truly knew they'd be good. And Howard said that's a great idea. And he let explain how that happened, Bob. That's actually for a fan of the show. How sort of did I know that part of it? But how did Howard just let you produce his roast from the beginning?
Well, I was going to do my own show.
We're out of time. No, go ahead. John Denver missed the boat musically. I was at Sam Goody the other day. And for you kids, there'll be a 2-hour documentary with a Sam Goody. I was at Sam Goody the other day, and a John Denver cassette cost 99 cents. A blank cassette cost $2.50.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
John Denver could triple his money if he'd shut the fuck up.
The only guy he's so brilliant, he throws away great jokes.
Well, he forgot that on Letterman.
I remember when I did that joke when I first came. Like when you first come up with that joke.
We're out of time.
And it works.
Mike Pence is not going to be able to talk in his debate. Trump's going to call in.
Excuse me.
What happened? What do you have, tuberculosis? You like one of Edgar Allan Poe's wives? Okay, well, go ahead. Give your pitch. Do your plugs, because I'm throwing you out of here. The Uber will be here in 2 minutes. What are your plugs?
October 3rd, I'll be at the Bay Ridge Festival on 3rd.
You're not even close to being someone who I would ever feel sorry for, because you did. You went out and attacked life. You're a fun kid.
I guess so. I'm sorry.
But this is what I hate. When the pouting.
I'm not pouting.
Yes, you do that all the time, Mar. You do it through Twitter, you pout so hard. I'm sorry. You sound like an after-school special. I like when you laugh. So you gotta have a sense of humor about yourself. You gotta laugh at yourself. That's all we do. Self-deprecating humor is the key to everything.
You know what it is, Audie? Nobody takes
We're out of time. Now we go to Brianna.
Oh no.
Hello.
Brianna is a wonderful person. I don't care what you've heard. And me and her text every once in a while, and she gives me life advice texting.
Yes.
Sometimes she'll say I'm wearing an ugly shirt. I don't know how you know what I'm wearing.
She's just, playing the odds.
She's playing the odds.
She's playing the
So now, Bree, what do you want to do? Your two older sisters are tough examples. Like they're so successful. Are you going to be Cooper Manning?
Well,
do you think it's going to be hard to be successful now with your two sisters being successful?
Well, I feel like because they're like they have their
We're out of
strengths
time.
and
Congratulations on being #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list. Bill O'Reilly, welcome to the show.
Yeah,
Killing Reagan. Of course, Lenny Dykstra. Lenny Dykstra, man, I love you. People say the podcast I did with you, one of the funniest ever, and you're amazing.
It was, dude. And you know what pussy I got from that?
We're out of time. Bruce songs have saved my life. Sitting outside Hollywood parties, missing Jersey.
Me wanting to go to Jersey.
Yeah.
Sitting in Chicago.
I mean, that's really, nobody cares about that. Now, that is the amazing part about Dan's story. This is a big compliment to Bruce. Dan, a little, a homosexual kid, so you're lonely.
Oh, shut up.
Think of that. Think about isolated. A rich homosexual kid.
Oh, God.
Now, of course, Danny, a kid in Chicago, those lyrics resonated. They're great songs no matter what, but they are very, especially the early ones, man. Those first couple albums that Dan fell in love with, they're very Jersey specific, a lot of it. Jersey Shore stuff, blah, blah, blah. Dan got so into it that he wanted to make a pilgrimage to Jersey and was affected by Bruce Springsteen and Rick Steves. How did you get, as from Chicago, what did you relate to in those songs early on? I'm curious.
We're
out of time.
The reason why that came up, I gotta say,
Cleveland,
is only because that guy Opie made fun of my friend's daughter.
Who?
Opie made fun of.
What'd he say?
He made fun of.
May I say disgraziad?
He
What did he
made
say?
fun of the Nick Manfredi family's kid, 8-year-old kid.
Take his out back.
And he
I'll
said-
take him out back. I want his family dead.
He said he wanted to, Opie said he wanted to take him behind the wall and rape this kid's 8 years old. And I tried to
Is the
explain
kid
it
connected?
Probably.
Is he?
Yeah.
Tell him to make a fucking phone call. Drop a dime on the shit wife.
So I turned around and so we were getting
We're out of
into
time.
it, and
Gay Jap porn. Did you ever see a gay Jap? Unbelievably sexy. It's fucking great shit. Hot action. Hot action. I was in the porn business before you were born. I invented the money shot. Lexington Steel. Yeah, sure. I'll tell you what, that guy's bad with money. He's got a Goyisha cup. All right, what's your story, Mario?
it's about the Yam in Coney Island.
All right, let's stop.
No, I'm serious.
We're out of time.